When does a designer truly succeed? When their creation takes on a life of its own. The hanging hoop chair, designed in 2015 by Lee Broom, exemplifies this success. Inspired by mid-century aesthetic, Broom reinterpreted simplicity, functionality, and elegance through a 21st century lens. His vision was so compelling that the chair, featured in Beyoncé's film Black is King, has instantly become a recognizable piece in modern interiors around the world. Today, Lee Broom stands among the most acclaimed contemporary British designers. He describes his style as future classic. But it's not just about appearance, he explains. It's about timelessness. His goal is to create objects that transcend trends and are cherished across generations. Broom's story is one's craftsmanship and cultural continuity. His pieces are crafted from the finest materials by skilled artisans across Europe. At the same time, his clean, geometric forms make reference to ancient art, Art Deco, and Brutalism. You studied fashion design, but now you work in product design. Why is it more important to you? What was the turning point?
It wasn't something that I necessarily planned. So I was studying fashion, and then before that I actually worked for Vivienne Westwood, which was an incredible experience seeing her work and being under her mentorship. But at the same time, I was also kind of dabbling in interiors. And I had this sort of side business where I would go into bars and restaurants while I was at college and sort of ask if they needed any cushions reupholstered or curtains making or paint effects. And then it turned into an interiors business. But for me, the most important thing was A, to be in a creative industry, and B, to have my own brand. I really wanted to work for myself and have my own company. And it became a natural segue into interiors, into design. And I thought, well, here is an industry that doesn't require the same startup costs that you would if you were starting a fashion business. It's a service-led industry, and I'm being creative and I have my own brand. So that was the kind of segue, really. So it was planned on one hand, but on the other hand, it was very organic.
Because fashion and industrial design have a lot in common. So which aspects are the most important, exciting, interesting to you?
I mean, for me, it is the inception of an idea. And you are correct. They are very similar in the fact that, you know, you have an idea, you have images, you create sketches, you make a model, you adapt it, you create a prototype, a sample, and then you go into production. So whether that's a chair or whether it's a beautiful garment, the process is the same, but the medium is very different. So I do see similarities between the two, and I tap into my fashion background often in my industrial design. But for me, I think the most interesting point is the inception of the idea, the creation of the products, the making of the models, you know, when you first see the piece illuminated, you know, for me and my team, it's like a wow moment. And then from that point on, it feels a lot slower.
What are the features that distinguish design today?
I always, when I look at my products, I want to look at them through a contemporary lens. So sometimes I kind of putting my contemporary glasses on and just looking at it from a different viewpoint, making sure that it's modern and relevant. It has a point of difference, but it also has a sense of classicism as well, because I want my products to have longevity. And I think to do that, it's important to strip back, you know, so sometimes when you're a creative person, you can have a tendency to perhaps over-design and kind of want to add many things. And for me, it's about stripping back as much as I can and having the confidence to present the purest form, I guess.
Because it's also a question about challenges. What should design be today in era of the overproduction, overconsumption, climate crisis?
I mean, I still think that there is a place for functionality and for beauty and for products that evoke an emotion as well as a functionality as well, rather than just a social aspect. But what I would say, and it's something that I ask myself with every product that I create, is do we need this? Is this giving a point of difference? Am I doing something that somebody hasn't seen before, or producing it in this way, or creating a functionality that has a point of difference? I think that that is the most important question to ask yourself. And also, we're in the business of, we're not creating single-use products. We're creating products that I'm expecting people to keep for the rest of their lives and to pass down to the next generation. So I am thinking about how things will perform, how they will look, and how people will react to my work in 50, 100, 150 years' time even. And I think that that's important.
Do you remember what made an impression on you recently?
There's actually a new V&A museum in London which just opened, I think maybe last week or the week before last, which is called the V&A Storehouse. It's in East London. This is where we have our showroom and our head office. And it's a very contemporary and unusual take on a museum. So they've created a storeroom, a warehouse, but it is a beautifully architectural building that displays all the products in crates and in ways that you would imagine them in a warehouse, but all the finishes are glass and metal, and they're not curated in an exhibition style. It's an amazing way of presenting, very historical pieces. So that's the most interesting and impressive thing I've seen in design recently, I would say.
And can creativity be learned?
I would say creativity can be enhanced through training if you already have the creative gene. But I don't think it could be learned entirely. I think, if you were to speak to a scholar, a mathematician, they would, tell you that there's a part of their brain that enables them to be able to grasp that vocation and that, do you know what I mean? I think it's the same for creative people. It's the left-right side of the brain moment. So I think, training can enhance anything that you already have the spark within you. You already have the flair.
Thank you.
Thank you.